So we would love to have sunny and 70 around here, just not going to happen today or maybe the next few days, but we will not stay in this deep freeze for too long.
Yes, this is the coldest we're going to be in the extended forecast, and you want sunny and 70?
Yeah. Please.
Make plans for Saturday.
Okay.
Sunday, it's looking much nicer as we slightly warm up today, and eventually each and every day toward the weekend gets a little bit warmer. Outside right now, though, this is winter coat territory. As we have dropped here in Crawfordsville down to 27. It is now 29 degrees in Lafayette, Frankfort 28, Tipton right at freezing, and Noblesville sitting at 32. Right now it is 30 with a hard freeze on the way for Hancock County and Greenfield. Pendleton is also down to 30 right now, sitting in that urban heat island here in the Indianapolis metro, but still 37. That's frost territory, getting close to that as well in Greenwood at 33, and everybody across the southern tier of the state in that frost zone as well, as temperatures are starting to drop to near that freezing mark. Keep in mind we have a freeze warning in effect for the entire state that will run through 9 o'clock this morning. Now, as we get into the mid-morning, the sun will be up. We'll start to warm up this temperature trend here. 45 at 10 a.m. We are eventually headed to 63 for a high today, and keeping the sky clear into the evening tonight. Temperatures just slightly below average, ranging from the low to mid 60s across central Indiana today, and from here on out, warming up. We'll talk about the return to the 70s coming up in your full forecast. Do want to get you out to the south side of town again on 65 southbound, where we're following an ongoing incident. This is just south of I-465. At one point, all travel lanes were blocked. Does look like just one lane is blocked at this point as emergency crews are in the clearing process of this. The left lane is closed, so everyone merging over to those other travel lanes here on 65 southbound. So because of that, and as traffic starts to pick back up, we still have a delay to let you know about in between I-465 and Greenwood. If you're traveling southbound in that direction, it's about a 3-minute delay. So we're watching that one for you. We're also watching the new closure at downtown. This is 65 at West Street. Traffic relatively light here. I think a lot of folks are picking up on the fact that we're going to probably need an alternate route. So we're not seeing much of a delay at this point. We're going to monitor this, though, as all traffic is being diverted off of 65 southbound onto West Street. Keep in mind the ramp is open from Delaware Street, though, onto I-70 eastbound.
Thanks for that update, Lindsay. And we begin now with a fatal shooting outside of a hotel on the city's southwest side. We now are looking for more information about what led up to this gunfire.
Here's what we do know right now. Police tell us they believe that a woman was killed last night after an argument in the parking lot of the Red Roof Inn near Lyndhurst and Sam Jones Expressway. Police are still working to confirm if that woman was a guest at the hotel.
We believe everything was just a disturbance in the parking lot. It was the parking lot that, for whatever reason, they chose, but we don't have that confirmed one way or another.
But officers have confirmed that they've not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case.
Well, this morning, an outpouring of support for an Avon family after a 12-year-old boy was killed in a crash. This happened early Sunday morning. Investigators tell us Braxton Garvin was riding his bike when that crash happened on US 36 near Avon Village Parkway. Police say the driver of the vehicle stayed at the scene and is cooperating with the investigation. Officers believe this simply was a tragic accident.
Oh, we now know police have a person of interest this morning connected to a deadly hit and run of a teenager. You may remember this happened more than a week ago on the city's far east side, off of Cumberland Road, just north of 10th Street. That's 14-year-old Roberto Rivera III who died in that crash. The Marion County prosecutor will decide whether to file charges in his death. However, police have not made any arrests in this case. There is a balloon release set for tonight in honor of that victim.
Well, 6:04 is your time in this morning. A fatal shooting involving a minor in Castleton back in September is now being investigated as a homicide.
So this happened in an apartment near 75th and Benford. Initially, police investigated this as a self-inflicted shooting at the time, but now investigators believe there's enough evidence to suggest that this was a homicide.
Investigators say they have talked with the person of interest in this case. We've also reached out to police to see if they anticipate any arrests to be made soon. They say they're working with the prosecutor's office right now to decide whether to file charges. Well, this morning, a total of now 3 IU former basketball players say they were sexually abused during their medical examinations by a former team doctor named Brad Bomba Sr.
This is a story we've been following since it broke last month when the first accusation came to light. This morning, our Sia New Yorker is in studio after hearing from lawyers for 2 of those potential victims. Good morning, Sia.
Good morning, ladies. Yes, the attorney we talked with says the lawsuit filed on behalf of her 2 clients will also serve as a representative for a class of people who experience similar abuse. Now, here's what we can tell you. 3 players have now come forward alleging that team physician Dr. Brad Bomba Sr. sexually abused them. This latest lawsuit filed by attorney Kathleen Delaney says, quote, IU failed to take effective preventative measures and allowed repeated harm to students. The suit also says the IU men's basketball medical care team had knowledge of Dr. Bomba Sr.'s sexual assaults, but no one took action to remove him. Delaney tells 13 News they all hope that IU will take the appropriate action and remedy the situation.
This case is very, very similar to cases that have been brought in the past against the University of Michigan and Michigan State University. And in both of those situations, the universities stood up, they got their arms around how big the problem was, and they compensated those victims.
Now, we reached out to IU for a comment, and a spokesperson referred us to the initial statement that was posted in September after those first 2 players came forward. Now, coming up on Sunrise at 6:30, hear from the other victim's attorney who says she believes there will be a widespread reckoning in this case.
All right, thank you, Sia. We'll check back in with
Thank you, ladies.
Well, in just 2 hours, jury selection will begin in the murder trial of Raymond Childs III. In July, a mistrial was declared after something was said during witness testimony. So right now, Raymond Childs III faces murder charges in connection to killing several family members 3 years ago. That trial is expected to begin next week. We'll pass along any new updates that come about today. And now we're just 3 hours away from the jury in the Delphi murders trial being sworn in. It's happening later today in Allen County.
So there are 12 jurors and 4 alternates. Once those 16 people are seated, they'll be tasked with deciding if Richard Allen is guilty in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. This happened more than 7.5 years ago near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi. Richard Allen has stayed in Fort Wayne all week for this jury selection and is expected to be in court for that swearing in.
Now, after those proceedings today, the jury will then return to Carroll County. That is where we're expecting to hear opening statements starting tomorrow.
You can get caught up on this case right now and the developments up until now by seeing our Delphi trial special. It's streaming on demand and on WTHR+. It is free to download the app on Apple TV, Roku, and on Amazon Fire Stick. This morning, Indiana State Police are working to identify human remains found in West Lafayette. The Tippecanoe County coroner tells us a man was fishing at Wabash Bottoms Park when he discovered a bone. So a forensic anthropologist confirmed that it is a human bone. And now the coroner is working with state police conducting DNA testing to figure out who that bone belonged to.
This morning, a life-saving moment, all thanks to a hand signal circulating on social media. You've probably seen that. If not, this is a good time to tell you about it. A paramedic who saw a call for help and he sprung into action. Monday, first responders were called to the Churchman Woods apartment on a medical alarm. Rodney Ham is a paramedic who went to the door. He said an older woman answered, saying that she didn't realize the alarm was going off, claiming it was an accident. But that's when he noticed a young woman looking very upset. And just before he shut the door, he saw what you're seeing on your screen right now, a hand sign. He recognized it from social media as a call for help from a domestic violence victim.
I've talked to several people about it and nobody really knows about it. And like I said, the only reason I knew about it was because of some ads on the social media. So I think it needs to be put out there for everybody to know, I think it can help a lot more people.
Totally agree. So share this with your loved ones, anyone you may know, so they can look for it. Now, Beach Grove police were able to eventually get into that apartment. The woman told police when she tried to leave, her fiance and his mother, the woman who opened the door, wouldn't let her and actually assaulted her. You can call this number day or night. You see it here on your screen. If you or someone you know needs help, we have it again posted for you online. And again, if you'd like more information on that hand signal that could help someone.
Well, the time right now is 6:10. A bit of a chaotic start to that I-65 closure in downtown Indianapolis. We were showing you yesterday how that closure was impacting all of the southbound lanes on day one.
So let's give you a live look at I-65, that south ramp at MLK. So you can see that there are actually more flashing lights there today. So maybe a little extra help before the brunt of the rush hour gets underway. But this is happening between West and Alabama streets, and the ramps along that stretch all closed. Okay, so that did leave many people pretty lost yesterday during their morning and evening commutes even.
For years we went a certain way, and now it's like, I mean, it's discombobulating because I got to watch the signs because I'll end up lost.
The closure is set to last another 15 days, and NDOT suggesting those detours. Also not a bad idea just to map it out on your phone before you hit the road.
That is the way that I come into work. And I was a little confused yesterday. This morning, the U.S. hit several key Houthi targets in Yemen with a stealth bomber.
We'll tell you the chilling words the group is using in their response to that bombing at 6:15.